Well, hello there, everybody. It is Chad, and on behalf of the RMGVG, we have another interview tonight. It's been a while, long time no see. Hope everybody had a good holiday season, Christmas and New Year's, and all that good stuff for you parents out there. Winter vacation. Man, I've been busier than a one-legged man in a you-know-what contest. It's good to be back though. Dig out of that hole of to-dos from the holiday season. We have a really cool interview tonight, something a little bit different. We have Mark Mourlas, who is from the GPC, and he's going to tell us specifically, we're going to kind of focus on the GPC Big Show, the convention, the granddaddy of them all, the GPC Big Show. And he's going to do a deep dive into that and tell us all about it and why you should attend. It's a lot of fun. Definitely do it. And then if you want to post questions, and we'll be able to answer some questions just in general about the GPC, or perhaps what Mark's favorite color is. Just kind of have some fun with it. And then the really cool thing, and Mark will tell you more about it. It's going to be a little bit different today. He is going to give away, he's been authorized from the Pope of the GPC to give away a ticket, a $190 value to the GPC Big Show. So that's pretty darn cool. So without further ado, let me read my little intro I got here for Mark. Subscribe to the channel, join your local club, coloradopumpkins.com. We're happy to have everybody. We'll send you seeds, and you can be a part of the cool Colorado people or whatever club is nearby you. Join your local club. Mark Mourlas has been growing giant pumpkins for many years and currently has a personal best of 1,893 pounds. By day, Mark is the marketing and admissions director for the Masters Business Program at the Northern Illinois University. When he's not doing the old day job, Mark loves to take pictures of landscape, wilderness, and be outside in nature. He also likes to take pictures of pumpkins and people naturally at weigh-offs and pumpkin events. Mark is the owner of pumpkinphoto.com, which is his multi-million-dollar business, in addition to his mill fabric side gig. If you need mill fabric, talk to Mark. In his free time, Mark is the GPC area for the GPC rep for the Great Lakes region. He is the official photographer of the GPC, and he's also the webmaster. And again, today, Mark is going to be talking about the GPC Big Show. So, everybody, if you could, let's welcome Mark to the stage. Hey, Mark.
Hello, everybody. So happy to be here this evening. And as you can see here, yes, as you can see here, well branded for the GPC. Got my GPC shirt on, GPC background. It's all GPC tonight.
Excellent. So a couple of questions before we get into, the meat and potatoes of why we're here today. What's your origin story with the GPC? How did you, come to be involved with them?
Yeah, great story. I think it all sort of stems back to, growing giant pumpkins. I'll give the short story on that. I was really fascinated by giant pumpkins, so that there was a weigh-off locally here. By the way, I live in the Chicago area, so I was with the Illinois club. Went out, wanted to take pictures, and really got hooked at that point. So grew for a few years, and when there was an opportunity to join in as the Great Lakes representative, as Kelly, who was the former rep for the Great Lakes, I asked to join up, and I was really happy to do so. I just really wanted to expand out, my opportunity to get to know the community, get to know a lot of people, which has just been, in the pumpkin growing community, and that's really has been the case. I mean, everybody's been so welcoming. As I mentioned, I take a lot of pictures at weigh-offs. This has sort of given me the opportunity to do that. I've done it all over the Midwest. I've been out to California doing it, and folks invite me right into their pumpkin patch, and I've gotten a lot of great photos. So yeah, that's sort of the origin story.
Nice. And how long have you been the rep for the Great Lakes area?
Yeah, it started in 2021, right in that COVID year. when we had to do 2 of our shows online, unfortunately.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember the delay for the first one was delayed, and then the second one was kind of delayed. Yeah, so is
Yeah,
what it is. But that
definitely.
was the bad. Now this year we're back. We're back to all sorts of goodness in sunny, beautiful Lambeau. Let's jump right into it. Mark, tell us about the GPC Big Show.
Yeah, let's do it. So why don't we share the screen to get started, if you could? I'm going to do a little bit of a tour of our website as I explain everything. So as you can see here is our website. I know it's a little covered over by a few different things here, but essentially you can go on out there to gpc1.org. And then as you're navigating through, there's a couple places you can get to the show information. One is right down here. And then another way, let me just get back over here, is you can come up here and go in, and then you're into the website. So yeah, really the overview that we have, and by the way, you can go to this particular page and we're gonna go through this. There's a lot of great information on here that I'm gonna take a deeper dive in. So convention runs from March 7th to 9th. That's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's called the International Growers Convention, short IGC. As Chad mentioned, it's up in Lambeau. This is actually going to be the second time that we're up here. The last time we were at Green Bay was back in 2019. It was just a phenomenal venue to go, as many of us know, when we were up there too. So we just love going back up there. Really, the IGC does a rotation. So this year we're in the Midwest, so we chose Green Bay. The next rotation is Western United States. As many of you know, you may have attended the Las Vegas show. Big excitement in our show this year. We will be announcing the new location for 2026. So make sure you come to the show and find out where that's going to be. Brand new location. We're really excited about that. The next set of the rotation is on the East Coast. Previously, we were in Danvers, Massachusetts, which is in the Boston area. And then lastly, the rotation then goes international. Last year, in 2023, it was in Europe, in Casterly, Belgium. So that was a really interesting show that we had there too. Really great host with the Belgium club that we had.
I did not know you guys did it in a rotation. I'm learning something already.
Yeah. I mean, at least we're in a four cycle right now, and I think we're going to keep that. That just really moves it around, gives everybody from an international standpoint an opportunity to find something that's fairly close. And of course, Midwest, especially up in Wisconsin, is really favorable because there's a huge club there in Wisconsin. There's a huge club in Minnesota too. So it's a great location. We just get a ton of people that come from there. Of course, it's a great venue too. So why would you want to go to the show? Great place to socialize. So you're going to meet all the different growers there from, internationally. You'll see by the list of people that are showing up, which I'll show a little later. A great place to hear speakers. We're going to have 5 speakers. I'll be going into a little bit more details around that and what that's all about. And then, of course, it's the Growers Awards ceremony too. So we have a lot of awards that we give out. There's a whole evening that's dedicated to this. So people have put all that hard work into growing. They can come on out, be acknowledged up on the stage for all the things that they've won. And there are many different categories that people can win with. So cost of the program or for the venue is $190, as Chad had mentioned earlier. That's going to cover everything for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That'll include lunch and dinner. It's buffet style. And I don't know, Chad, if you remember that buffet we had up there in Green Bay the last time. It was pretty phenomenal. We're going to have the same thing again. So bring your appetite. And
I believe they had the buffet. The buffet also had adult beverages and whatnot too. There was lots of goodness there being where it's at.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I think that's one of the great things about the venue is it's a whole atrium, huge area. It's got an open bar, huge bar. So both Friday and Saturday night, that open bar is going to be available. It'll be a great opportunity for socializing and enjoying a beverage too on top of it. The other thing that's included with the cost is going to be the commemorative T-shirt, and we are really excited about this year's T-shirt. So again, you're going to want to get that commemorative T-shirt. There also is another option out there. So if you're going to bring a guest, somebody that doesn't necessarily want to sit through all the speakers and so forth, but maybe coming along just to really see you gain an award, they can also register as a guest too for $100 for that. And that covers both their lunch and dinner on Saturday too. There's Friday events, and that is open to anybody, so they'll be able to do that. I think we lost the screen, didn't we? Yeah, there we go.
I hit a button. That's my bad.
Yeah, and also, just so everybody knows, the deadline to make sure you get the best cost is going to be registered by February 1st. The cost will go up by $20 after that point. So make sure you register before the 2nd. So one of the things I do want to do is give a big thanks out there to the GPC Committee. This is a fully volunteer committee that meets throughout the year and works on many different things. Of course, the big show is a huge part of that. Getting together awards for the way-offs, that's another big part of it. We meet every Sunday, pretty much every Sunday. There may be maybe 7, 8 Sundays that we don't meet. So everybody's putting a lot of work into it. And we've been planning this for quite a while. So I just want to sort of acknowledge the GPC committee. So we have, of course, the Wiz, who is our president. We have Pete Casper, who is our treasurer. We have Laverne, who is our secretary. And we have Cindy, who is our vice president. And as many of you know, too, she puts together the quarterly newsletter, which takes a lot of effort. So we really like to acknowledge that. And then we have other folks, too. So Woody covers the Northeast territory. Woody also does a huge amount of heavy lifting. So all awards that you're going to see at the show, and then also the ribbons and plaques that are given out to all the way-offs, Woody coordinates all that. And that's just a huge amount of effort. So hats off to Woody. Todd is our Central Canada representative. Todd also does a lot of work with awards, with all the ribs and so forth up in Canada. Also another shout out for Todd. He is our coordinator with the Guinness World Records. So, anytime somebody hits a record within the GPC, he makes it smooth sailing and getting that taken care of and getting you into the Guinness World's Records. So we want to acknowledge that with Todd. Patrick is our rep out in Europe. He also helps out with the awards in Europe. Of course, here's this goon right here. That's me. Of course, I cover the Great Lakes area. We have Jacob, covers the Plains and Rocky Mountains. And Nick is down in the South. Fred is in Eastern Canada. And then we have our newest member, who is a additional European rep, who is Luca. So, that's the full GPC staff. So, yeah, I'm going to go into the agenda. But one of the things I did want to mention, and we'll get to the agenda here. We started a subcommittee too this year, just to really juice up all the speakers that we're going to have at the convention. And I do want to acknowledge this subcommittee that met, and put quite a bit of time into. And you'll see this just by the quality of the speakers that we have. And that committee is Pete Caspers is on it, Jim Ford. So again, another Wisconsin person, Joe Altz. We all know Joe, fantastic resource for finding speakers throughout the industry, even finding some others that are, not within, growers and so forth. Russ Pugh was on that, and then of course myself, I headed up the committee. So again, hats off to those guys. They did a tremendous job in helping us out with speakers. So if we're going again to the website, here, and I'm going to show a couple of things. Here's the agenda, which we'll hit in a second. Then we have this area over here, which is business. Was there a question?
Nope, that was me. I hit a button.
Oh, okay. And then there's this area over here, who's attending. So you can come over here, hit this list. I just updated this on the 12th of January. So you can go through, see who's coming, what state, country that they're coming from. Currently, we are at 108. But I have anticipation that we're going to probably break the record this time. I think the record's around 160 participants. So I'd imagine we're going to probably be well above that point. So that's part of the site. If people are registering, there's also an area here too where you can get discounted rooms. And that's going to be at a hotel that's right across the street from Lambeau Field. And it's called Lodge Kohler. Really fantastic hotel. Everybody raved about the showers there. As many of you may know, Kohler is a faucet company that manufactures up in Wisconsin. So real easy here. I've got this set up so you can just click through. It goes right to their site. You can either call or you got the codes and everything else so you can get some discounted rooms at Lodge Kohler.
And that was when I went in 2019. Mark and Josh knew that was actually a very nice hotel. A+. Maybe not A+. A was solid A.
Yeah, solid A. Sometimes A+. And the nice thing about Lodge Kohler too is if you have a guest that's coming with you and they don't want to do the speaker series, there's some fantastic shopping around that area. And also there is a spa there. So if everybody wants to indulge themselves in the spa situation, that's available at Lodge Kohler too.
Yeah. Or you don't want to hear somebody talk. Maybe you don't want to, Jim Ford's doing one of his Jim Ford rambles, trying to sell you his book. And you're like, I'm going to go to the spa later, Jim.
So, yeah, I don't think you'd see Jim there. So you probably, the other side of the door. So we're going to, jump on here into the agenda. So you can click there and see exactly what's going on. I'm going to go through this in a little bit more detail. So, let's get to the top here. So again, it's going to be Friday. This is a Friday. Registration is from 1 to 4. And then from 5 to 12 is going to be a social situation. This is going to be big fun. It's Bead Night. So everybody's been going to get beads, those beads that like you have and might wear at festive events like down at New Orleans and so forth. You're going to get these beads, and Cindy Topak is going to head this up. Essentially, everybody's going to walk around the room to paper, scissors, rock, and try to steal everybody's beads. So a great way to get to meet new people, go from group to group, and then ultimately at the end of the evening, if you've obtained the most amount of beads, you're going to win the top seed. So a great social situation.
So you don't have to flash people to get beads.
No flashing. No flashing. This is a family event.
Gotcha. Good. But if you want to,
you can do them private in your Hotel Kohler room, I guess. It's good.
Okay.
So next item on here is, most of the evening is going to be a social situation, but then from 7:30 to 8 o'clock, 8:30, we're trying something new. This is going to be a panel where we are going to talk about best practices with local clubs. So there'll be a little intro from Jim Ford here, but really the idea here is we have all these people coming into one area, and they only do it once a year. And how can we start sharing some of the wealth of knowledge from club to club? So on the panel, we'll have Del Vost, who's one of the Wisconsin president. We'll have another Wisconsin member up there. Chris Brown will be on the panel. He's big with the Minnesota club. Brian Myers from the California club will be there. We have somebody to be determined from the Ohio club that will be out. And then also I'm candidating an additional East Coast participant for that too. So we're pretty excited about this panel. So again, an opportunity to hear more about, how to run a club or, be in a club or find really to share the wealth, because there's just some really fantastic clubs that are out there, especially that, well, I'm not going to show bias, but I really like the Wisconsin club and Minnesota club. I'm up there all the time myself too, even though they give me a hard time about being a Bears fan from Chicago, but that's all right. So that's essentially what's going to happen. And then we will work into Saturday, and I'm going to go back to the website for this to go over the different speakers. So we have speakers set up on Saturday. So we will scroll on down here. And here's our first speaker. So this is Dr. Jamie Patton. And she has spoke at the Wisconsin Spring Seminar previously. She is part of the USDA NRCS in Wisconsin, a state soil health coordinator. She provides education, outreach, and technical support for soil scientists, soil science, and land management and practices across the state of Wisconsin to really help enhance soil health and water quality. And I really enjoyed her presentation. As you can see by this picture, there's a bunch of roots that are behind her. One of the things that she does, she goes out into the field and I don't know what they specifically call it, but she digs this trench that's probably about 6 or 7 feet deep in a field. And you can actually walk into it and see how roots are performing and so forth. And she does this at, different farm locations and so forth. So she's really an expert on, how well roots grow, cover crops and so forth. And, it kind of sounds interesting and scientific and everything else. She's highly entertaining too. And she's really going to be challenging everybody to sort of think differently. And by the way, that's one of the things that we wanted to get out of all these different speakers is, first of all, bring new information forward, make people think a little bit differently, really help people to grow bigger pumpkins based on all the information we're getting from these speakers. So one of the things that is a little bit controversial, and I think we'll be interested to hear about this, is Jamie is a big proponent of minimizing soil disturbance. So, we're all out there with our rototillers just blending up the soil and so forth. And she certainly is somebody that talks a little bit more about maybe it's a little bit better, maybe not disturb the soil as much. It really helps out with the fertility, the biology. Obviously, cover crops are a huge part of that. I know even Mike Schmidt was out there, and I think this last year he even did a grow that was on more of a no-till grow. So she should be a great one. And I think you'll all be interested to hear what she has to say. And she's certainly going to make you think and put a little bit of controversy out there.
Excellent.
Our next speaker is Harley Smith. Let me just scroll him up a little bit here too. We're very fortunate to get Harley to come on out. Kelp for Less is sponsoring his presentation and is fully funding that presentation. Many people know who Harley is. He's definitely a person that's out there that has a lot of YouTube presence. So, you can take a look here. I've got a link to his YouTube. Many people know him from that. He's got 28 years of experience in consulting. He's a research science, an educator. As I mentioned, he's well known on YouTube. His big proponent, as many of us are, with spoon feeding, especially at every stage of the growth to maximize. And yeah, we got a good title. I should have gone back to the other title, but his is squeeze every pound out of your plant's potential. And that's really what he's going to be helping us out with. Big proponent of biostimulants, how it enhances nutrients uptakes, plant defense, and stress tolerances. So again, many people are very familiar with Harley. He's really big out there. So I think he's going to be a great speaker too. I got to go back to this title for Jamie. Roots, grow roots, and your fruits will follow suit.
That's really interesting. I know that is gaining a lot of traction, like in the market garden sphere. And I want to say Cindy has a no-till patch, and there's a guy here named Mark. He has he's been no-till for 10 years, and now it's kind of seems like it might be coming into vogue. I'm looking forward to that talk.
Yep. And then speaker number 3, that's going to be Dave and Carol Stultz, and we are really excited about this one. So Dave and Carol will do their year in review, our year in review. They're really going to talk about what are keys to gaining consistency to the scale. They will do a full season review, and I think it's just amazing. I mean, you just look at this photograph we have here of Dave and Carol. I mean,
the last few years they have been nailing grand slams.
I mean, that just shows it. And Dave and Carol have over 30 years of growing experience. I didn't realize this until I started putting things together, but Dave and Carol own 2 world records. So this year, as you can see here, they've got the Grower of the Year, and this is a new record, 7,726 pounds. And for those of you that aren't familiar with the Grower of the Year, essentially what you need to do is you need to bring 3 pumpkins to 3 separate weigh-offs, and they has to make it to the scale. And then what we do is we're going to add up those 3, and whoever has the greatest total will get the Grower of the Year for giant pumpkins. And this blew away anything that was out there with the 3 that Dave and Carol had. And then also Dave owns the giant pumpkin world record. I didn't realize this back in 2000 at 1,140 years. So I mean, he's been cranking out there forever, which is just amazing. I mean, every year he's just.
Well, I think was Dave the first president of the GPC?
He was a president. I don't know if he was the first president. So, maybe somebody can chime in on that might know who that person was.
And if you guys haven't done so, make sure to look at the current, I believe it's the current or the last issue of the GPC newsletter. Dave has some really great information on his season, and I suspect that this will be at the GPC show will be, just much more of a deep dive into the intricacies of it.
Exactly. And nice thing too is he'll be doing a Q&A, so great opportunity to, drill down further, ask him the question, what made the difference this year?
Yeah. Ooh, Don answered the question. I'll put that up. The first president of the GPC was Hugh Wiberg from Topsfield, Mass. All
right. Thanks, Don. Yeah, I've only been at it for about 4 or 5 years too, so I appreciate all those folks like Don and Jack LaRue that have been around and have all that history for us, so thank you. And then speaker number 4, our good friend, Dr. Chris Runball. So we're looking forward to this one. So, Chris, too, is a YouTube sensation. Many people follow him out there, too. And Chris holds a associate's degree in chemistry, a bachelor's degree in biology, and I didn't know this until I really took the deeper dive, a doctorate of dental strategy. And I mean, if you take a little closer there, this guy's got one heck of a smile.
Right? Spared no expense.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Is there going to be a translator available for that talk? That accent he has is real thick.
Well, we may have to get a little teleprompter up there, just doing the ciphering. So maybe he can work into his Wisconsin twang. Maybe that'll help out a little bit there.
Excellent.
Yeah. So what Chris is going to be talking about is growing giant pumpkins on a scale. So, there's been a lot of people that have been doing this, and Chris himself has been doing it also. But he's really going to get into, the nitty gritty, how to set up a scale, what are all the challenges and so forth. But he's been really digging in, looking at the data, and, all of us really don't know. I mean, you go out and do something, you throw this on the patch, and you really don't know other than maybe a measurement the next day. I mean, he's got all that data, as others have done, that have been growing on a scale. So he's going to be able to share a lot of that knowledge that he has, basically experience on growing on a scale and what's worked and what hasn't too. So we're really looking forward to this presentation too. And then our last speaker is Joe Altz. And he is going to speak on Back to Basics, a look at horticulture, limitations, physiology, and best practices. So many people know Joe. He's up in the northwestern Wisconsin, Minnesota area. He's an independent agronomist. I'm mispronouncing that, and crop consultant. One of those scientific terms. He has a BS in biotechnology and a graduate degree in nutrition. And he is a Wisconsin certified crop advisor. So Joe, I think, is kind of going to sort of challenge all of us. He's going to really sort of bring us back to basics again. We all have different things we do, and sometimes we don't know why we file a seed or why we do this or that, and kind of get caught in sort of a vicious circle. And Joe's going to really bring it back to the basics. And I'm just going to read this section here quickly. He's going to walk us through sink source relationship. I'm not even sure what that is. The essentials of photosynthesis, how water and nutrition are moved through the plant, optimizing soil fertility for maximum productivity, and a handful of other tidbits to underscore how pumpkin plants work. And Joe has really been pushing the community. He knows we're going to get to this 3,000 pound record here shortly. Last time he spoke, I think it was the Hannity test. He was a proponent of that. But here, I mean, he's going to be getting down to the basics here, and really, people just sort of tearing things apart, understanding how it all works, so we can take that next best step. So yeah, we're really excited about all 5 of the speakers that we're going to have. And let me come back to the agenda. So that will sort of conclude the day. As you can see here, things will wind up at about 4 o'clock with the last speaker, and then we will move into the awards show and dinner. So here's a schedule around that, and then I'll talk about these 2 real quickly. These are pretty important. The Vine of Honor awards, and we have the announcement that the Vine of Honor will go to two folks. It's going to be Hank Houston of Virginia and Greg Kurkowski of South Dakota. And the Vine of Honor is a little bit different than the Hall of Fame. Many times, to really get into the Hall of Fame, you have to, do many different things, give back to the community, hold leadership positions. You have to be a phenomenal grower, hitting, many, many different huge milestones and so forth, which is, sometimes is difficult to hit all the different things, but still, there are many individuals through a lifetime or maybe even, after they've passed, like both Hank and Greg have passed, that, we still want to honor all the great things that they've done. And that's what that's what the Vine of Honor is for. So, individuals can be considered, they can either be current growers, retired growers, non-growers, event organizers, and support people. And we know there's a lot of people out there that are supporting the hobby that aren't necessarily the top, superstar growers that are out there. So this, of course, is the opportunity to acknowledge them. So we're looking forward to acknowledging both Hank and Greg with the Vine of Honor. And then after that point, we will have 3 inductees to the Hall of Fame. Just a little side note, there were 5 folks that were, the nominations were put in for the Hall of Fame, and all 5 were definitely qualified to join in. And I mean, if we didn't have limits on things, all 5 would have been in. And I'd imagine the other 2 that didn't make it, I'm pretty sure that next year they're going to be the next Hall of Fame inductees. But the group that we have is Del and Julie Faust up in Wisconsin. We have Salvador Mogas in Spain, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And then John Vincent in Ontario. So again, these are, really phenomenal honors. Many things they have to do. There's leadership, there's giving back to the community, there's, hitting huge grower achievements like world records. The Del and Julie Faust still hold the tomato records. So all 3 of these folks are groups, of course, I guess 4, because Del and Julie are together, are well deserving of the Hall of Fame. And then after that point, then we get into the awards presentation. And I've got a whole separate little slide here for that. I'm going to slide it in. Aha! Here's where we take a little break before we go into all the different awards. So let's talk a little bit about the golden ticket.
Yeah. So like I said before, when we got started, that the GPC is offered to, fund the bill for somebody to come, Mark?
We do. And it, even if you've registered already, we will refund your registration. So this is open to everybody, whether you've registered or whether you haven't. Real simple. All you need to do, and I'm sure my email is going to blow up right now, just email me at, as you can see here, Mark at GPC1. Don't forget that 1. And remember, it's ORG. It's not COM. So again, Mark at gpc1.org. Just put in the subject, raffle, and put your name. And then what I will do is I will pull together all of these entries and put them into a spreadsheet, do that randomizer just like you do all the time, Chad, and we will pick somebody on January 21st. So I'm going to do this a week later. I really want to give folks that may not see this live the opportunity to view the video a little later, since maybe they were at work or whatever, and give them an opportunity to see this too and join in and go into the raffle. So I'm sure my email is probably blowing up right now. So definitely join in and get that $190 golden ticket.
So Jason's the moderator. in the chat, Jason, I just posted Mark at gpc1.org, subject raffle name. Could you pin that post for me, please? So just to clarify that for everybody, don't put numbers this time. Send Mark an email, and in the subject of the email, put raffle, and then in the body of the email, put your name. And then next week, Mark will, or when was the day? The 22nd?
21st.
21st. Mark will do we'll do that. And then maybe next week, spoiler alert, we're going to interview Jamie Graham. So maybe I'll let everybody know who the winner is next week. And then obviously Mark will let you know by email, but we want to let everybody know, just period.
Yeah, I'll also announce that the winner on our GPC Facebook page.
That's really cool. That's exciting stuff.
And I just saw, I'm seeing my emails come in. I think Andy Wolf was the first one coming in.
Oh, he's quick. He's quick. He's got those food inspector fingers. He's typing rapidly.
Yes. So one entry per person. I know Andy's in first. That won't give him an advantage. So, but thank you, Andy, for being the first one to go in and join in with the raffle. Okay, so now we're going to move on to awards. And
Andy says that means he wins, right?
Well, if nobody else enters, but my email is blowing up right now. So sorry, Andy, you're not the only entry that's going in. I don't know if you can hear it.
We can hear the dings.
Yeah, there's Shannon is in. Yeah, it's coming through. Okay, so let's talk about the awards ceremony and all the different awards. I think it's really important too, because it's amazing. Some people don't realize, what all the different award categories are, and or might not even realize that they won an award. I'll show it, where you can see all this information on our website shortly. But I do definitely want to go through and talk a little bit about the awards too, so everybody's familiar with them. So one of the more coveted awards is the GPC jacket. And as you can see here by the picture, we have this new, what we call our next gen jacket that's given out. So everyone can qualify for a new gen jacket. So even if somebody won one of those classic jackets going back to well before 2021, they still have the opportunity to win the new gen jacket. Also, for those people that have those classic jackets, they have the patches all over. They also have that opportunity to re-earn their patches, and we'll talk a little bit about what those patches are. So they don't have to go and rip off those patches off of their jackets. They can put them on this new gen jacket. The jackets are not just narrowed down to giant pumpkin growers. This is something that we started in the 2023 growing season. Great suggestion by Nick. It was great to have Nick come on to the committee, getting that different perspective from a different fruit grower, specifically the watermelons. So now anybody that grows any of the other fruits, field pumpkins, squashes, bushel gourds, marrow, long gourds, tomatoes, or watermelons can qualify for a jacket. And again, it's the same grower of the year or GOTY rules. You would have to take 3 of these fruits to 3 different weigh-offs, and then whoever has the greatest measurement, because we're measuring bushel gourds by inches or centimeters or whatever it happens to be, they will win a jacket too. So jackets are just not narrowed down to just giant pumpkin growers. So that's another great thing that we've rolled out recently.
That's a great change, Mark.
Yeah, and that'll be awarded at the at Green Bay also. So here are essentially the categories. So you have a 3 entry category. You can see that we've got all the different weights going all the way from 4,300 out to 7,500. These are their different clubs. So again,
it looks like the showing, Mark, is still on the schedule, though the window that you're sharing is on the schedule still.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. Let's see how we can change that. Let me try a new screen share. Window.
There we go.
Okay, yeah, let me go back a couple slides so we can just see it here. Here's your gold ticket. Here's all your information again. I'll just leave it up there for a second so everybody can see it. Here is the information about how you can win jackets and re-win jackets. Here are the different Gaudi winner opportunities for jackets. Field pumpkin, squash, bushel gourds, marrows, long gourds, and tomatoes, and watermelon. And here are all the different entries that you can win a jacket with for an Atlantic Giant. 3 categories, again, bringing 3 pumpkins to 3 separate weigh-offs and qualifying by adding them up to this. We've actually got a 7,500-pound club now with the Stelts have pushed that out.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Here's our single. This looks like crazy.
Yep. Here's our single entry, and I'm sure Travis won't like it, but hopefully we'll have a 2,800 or greater person that'll hit this up this year for single entry. And again, you get jackets or a patch. So once you earn a jacket, you can only earn 1 jacket. Once you earn a patch into any one of these different clubs, you earn that 1 patch. You're part of that club. But then, of course, you get to take that patch and put it on your jacket. You can see people that just love putting those up and down their arms on their jacket, which I'd like to be one, but I haven't gotten one yet. So I'm still trying.
Yet.
That's the key word, yet.
I think I get one this year, too. I think. I'm actually adding up my weights right now.
Yeah, remind me. We'll do a little check on that. I've got a great way you can check to see who actually won jackets here. I'll show that a little later. Here are some of the other awards that we have available that are going to be at the show too. So you've got top 3 in each of these categories are going to get a medal. So marrows, bushel gourds, long gourds, tomatoes, watermelons, field pumpkin, squashes. We will have regional winners in each of the 8 fruits. And those regional winners are Asia, the Southern Hemisphere. So sometimes we have some Australian or New Zealand growers or South Africa growers. Of course, Canada, US, and Europe. And I just threw this picture in here. I was out at Half Moon Bay, and the Asian winner from Japan was out there in San Francisco with his grandson.
Nice.
I don't remember his name. I probably couldn't pronounce it anyway, but again, the GPC is worldwide, and we have awards that are worldwide. And here is our Asian winner.
So I see top 3 medals. Is that different? Or if I'm trying to remember, when I was in Danvers, you just got the really cool blown glass. Is that different now?
Yeah, so the blown glass was more of an ad hoc thing. So we won't have, unfortunately, the blown glass just because it's super, super expensive now.
Yeah.
But it's a medal. It's like a medallion that you wear around your neck. So everybody that is top 3 in each of these categories would get one of those medals. Okay. So again, I mean, if you're, number 2 or number 3 in tomato, make sure you come on out to the show because you'll be acknowledged and get a medal. It's going across all the different categories. Another big one is Master Grower. Again, that's a really difficult one to win. Going across many different categories, getting certain points and so forth. So I'm not going to go into exactly who won. You'll You'll be able to see those on our website, and also, of course, hear the full lowdown at the award ceremony. There's an award for Best Top 10 Site Award. So this takes the average of all the top 10s at a weigh-off site, and whoever has the highest average wins the plaque, or their club or location wins a plaque. And this, I believe, was taken by the Ohio growers this year, and I think they set a new world record. They took it away from Stillwater. So there is a massive competition going back and forth between those two groups.
I'm hopeful one day. I keep on thinking that Colorado might be most improved one of these years. We've been getting a lot of influx, and that's always kind of, as the club, we're like, man, I wonder if we'll be up there this year.
Yeah, have a bad year and then sandbag at the final year after.
One 50-pound pumpkin shows up. Sorry, way off. But that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think you have to have 10, so maybe that's where you need to qualify. So 10 150-pound pumpkins.
We'll see what we can do.
And then there's site with most entries, and there's this huge weigh-off in Germany. They usually win it every year. And then there's medallions are given out to the top 25 Atlantic Giants. So that's really fully encompassing too. So you'll have to look to see if you're in the top 25, see if you're getting an award. And then of course you've got your grower of the year. That's going to be for Atlantic Giants. You will have a top Atlantic Giants. So whoever has the biggest pumpkin will get the coveted orange jacket, and then the top squash grower will get the coveted green jacket. I believe the photo looking at here of the Patton brothers, they had grower of the year, and this is the jacket they got as the top AG. So that's given out too. And essentially, I think that's all the awards. Let me see if I can get back to the website, see if it's going to show or not. I think you have to reshare. So let me stop sharing. Let's see. How do we kill it again? Are you able to kill it? Oh, here we go. I've stopped share. And then let me share again. Okay. Share screen. And window. Okay. Okay, share the screen again if you could.
Okay.
Okay, so here's our agenda. I think I have to get back to the website. So yeah, that is. I have to cover the rest of the agenda. Let me go back to the agenda here too. So that takes us through Saturday, and then we come into Sunday after that point, and we're going to try something a little different. So Sunday mornings, typically we have what we call the heavy hitters. So we'll bring up 4 or 5 different top growers. We get them in the front of the room. They'll go through a Q&A session. Great opportunity to sort of pick their brains. Typically, and I know myself, you're a little tired on that Sunday morning. Maybe stayed up a little too late. Maybe had a little bit too much to drink. But we want to infuse more energy into that Sunday morning. So we are going to have a Jeopardy game style way of getting those heavy hitters up there, experts in the field. So they'll be answering questions about trivia. There'll be questions that are coming in about growing. So this will put a little bit more fun into that part. The next item I'm going to do a little short demo on this is Jack's Stats Visualized. I'll talk a little bit about that shortly, and what the future of that looks like. And then, of course, we have the raffle and giveaways, and that ends the show at that point. So that's the full agenda.
Excellent.
Yeah. So let's talk about that last. This is kind of fun. So again, we're coming back to the GPC website, and I see that we're on it.
That's from the first Lambo
Yeah,
convention.
it is. This is Las Vegas. This is Danvers. And that is Belgium. Yeah, everything's kind of getting screwed up. Okay, so I'm going to this section here. You can see under heavy hitters, it's Jack Stats. And first of all, I have to take my hat off to Jack LaRue. I mean,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Oh my lordy.
He covers so many different categories and does the most amazing job and spends hours. I talked to him. He probably spends 150 hours, maybe a year, maybe even more, going all over all these categories.
He needs an apprentice for this.
What's that?
He needs an apprentice to, help him with this.
Yeah, he does. He does. He loves doing it. I mean, he's up to 2, 3 in the morning, and he just loves looking at. By the way, you'd think he'd have cross eyes, by this point. But he still looks pretty straight. He's able to see pretty straight off of it. But I mean, you can go through all these different categories, and all this information is stuff that Jack puts through. Top 10 fruits. So again, this is one of the areas you can go and see where you base your stats where you've won things. By the way, you can also go into this champions pull down and go and see what the different winners are and so forth. I'm not going to take a deep dive into that area at all, but we need to really get this out there more and have it less buried. And I'm going to talk a little bit about a beta project that I've been working on and just give a little bit of tease, because I'm going to show this in much more depth when we're out in Green Bay. But let me just show you one thing that's interesting here too in Jack Stats. Growers who have earned a jacket. So again, buried in here. So let's see, we can go in here and let's see. So we have a couple different tabs that are in here. Just going to show growers that have won jackets. You got your classic, and then you have your new gen. So let's check on Chad. And down to the new. There you go. Let's move that up.
Got it.
Yeah, you've already won the new gen jacket.
Yep.
So you can qualify for another jacket.
I got one of the reject Letterman jackets.
Yeah, but you got your new gen jacket too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's what happened in 21 and 22 is we had the crappy jackets, as we call them. So you can come in here. You can go in and look by the year that we awarded them. So this is probably a good place to see where the awards are coming in. I'm sorry, the spreadsheet's a little funky. So here is actually the list of all the folks that won in 2024. So you can all come to the site. You can see that we've got quite a few. I forgot what the exact total was. Of course, they're going to be winning the new gen jacket this year, and you can see that some had won that classic jacket back in whatever particular year it happened to be.
Yeah.
So this is a nice little spreadsheet to go back and really sort of check on, who's won jacket, when, and so forth. So I won't spend more time on this, but let's go back to Jack Stats. So let's talk about this beta that I've been working on. So again, as you can see, all these spreadsheets are a little hard to display up and get to and find and so forth. So what we want to do is we're going to start peeling off some of these stats that Jack has, and we're going to visualize them. And this is what we call Jack Stats Visualized. And I'm just going to give a tease here.
I was actually just clicking on that on my desktop.
Yeah. So the data needs to be updated. So this is still 2023 data. We haven't got the new ones, but these are all state records. And as you can see, it's all visualized. And, I can come in here, I can click Atlantic Giants, and you can see everybody off to the side here who is the state record holder for Atlantic Giants. You can come in here, you can alphabetize it, which is kind of cool. It's a little slow right now. Let's see. You can do it by state, you can do it by year, whatever you want. Of course, this is the Atlantic Giants tab. And then you can actually, let's come on work here. You can hover over a state and it will tell you who that person was. You and I were talking about this before. So Illinois, G. McMullen is the winner, 20 or the state champion for AGs at 21:45. I can go across each state. Here we go, hovering over for Travis at 27:49. And I'm sorry, Chad, but yours is going to be updated. But back in 2023, you're still the champion out in Colorado.
Don't worry about that one.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Brad, whatever his face.
So the interesting thing here too is if you see anything in here that's gray, that means there is not a champion. Nobody has. So if you can grow yourself a giant pumpkin and get to a way off in Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, or Hawaii, you can get yourself a state championship. Nobody's ever entered it in.
That's cool.
And then, of course, you can go to each one of these different categories. So, again, I'm not going to go from state to state. Everything works exactly the same here. So, field pumpkins, you can see, again, many opportunities here. Here's marrow. Here's tomatoes. Here's bushel gourds. Here's long gourds. Here's squash. And lastly, here's watermelons.
Very cool.
And I could come in here. I could click on a state. Let's see if it's going to do it for me. Yeah, I've clicked in here, and
oh, wow.
It'll also show all the different categories for each for a state. So here are all the records, at least as of through the 2023 season for Minnesota.
Nice.
You do it in Colorado. You can do wherever you want. Again, this is all powered by Jack Stats. So I will do a demonstration on this in Green Bay. We have something set up for all the Canadian provinces. And we also have something set up for the full world too. So this is just a really fun way of getting in there and playing around with all the data on more of a visual standpoint.
Right.
So I think that's a wrap on everything with the show. I think we've hit about an hour or so.
That's awesome. If anybody has any GPC general questions, now would be a good time to get those in. I'm going to look through real fast. I know that there was a couple of questions and comments. Christine, you're welcome for the seed sticker and keychain. Oh, Shannon says yes. He's the multi-millionaire with your mill fabric. Are you going to do mill fabric this year, Mark?
Oh yeah. So great question. I should. This is going to probably be the last year I'm going to do it. So really, the situation is, I was fortunate. I found a salvage yard in the Chicagoland area. Hats off to Brian Myers. He found it online, put me in touch with them. Basically, I have to go out to this salvage yard. They have huge 21-foot rolls of stuff. They have to push it around with, with lift it up with a forklift and put it up on a kind of cinder blocks. They have to unroll it and cut it out. I think there's only 2 more rolls that are available. So I think this is going to be the last year. So I'll probably start offering it up once the weather breaks and I get a little free time and get out there and start cutting it up. So I'll certainly let everybody know about it. Again, I'm happy to do it. It's fun. I see all these pictures of pumpkins out in the pasture. Like, hey, I know that mill fabric. I know that mill fabric over
That's
there
one
too.
of like at the start of the season. That is one of the number one emails I get when people are like, they're kind of watching my videos and they're starting to gather everything that they need. And mill fabric is one of those things like I can't order that off of Amazon or go down to Home Depot. Like, where do I get that? I'm like, Mark Mourlas, he's your guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been fortunate to be able to help supply it to folks. Again, it's salvage stuff off of, I guess it's paper manufacturing. And, hopefully somebody else out there in the community will find another salvage yard someplace and be able to pick it up after this year after I've done it. So, this stuff is phenomenal. I mean, I've grown on it the last couple of years, and shoot, I'm moving 1,300 pound pumpkins with really easy with come along.
Oh man, it's so much easier to grow on the mill fabric and scoot it around. It takes that. It's always a high anxiety task moving them, but with the mill fabric, it's a lot easier than crossing your fingers and holding your breath without it.
Yep. Keep an eye out there. I'll put something out on Big Pumpkins and also out on Facebook when the weather breaks. Right now there's snow out there. I'm not going to be crawling around in sub-zero temperature and snow trying to cut this stuff up. So once the weather breaks, hopefully those 2 rolls will still be available. We'll get out there and start cutting it up again.
And it's I'd like to interject one thing about the big show to, people who are watching this. And if you haven't been to one, whether you're a new grower or, a veteran grower, it's a lot of it, you go for the talks in the event, but in large part, it's just kind of an excuse for all of us pumpkin, I call us nerd, all of us pumpkin nerds to get together and just kind of talk and mingle and share secrets and tell lies and exchange seeds. And it's just a big, it's a big fishing trip. And it's a lot of fun. Whenever I go, I take my takeaway, which is just as valuable as the information during the talks are the talks that happen hanging out at the lunch table or around the bar or 2:00 in the morning at the Kohler Hotel. It's all of that stuff that makes it, that much more worth it. So yes, there is the agenda of what is being organized by Mark and his team, but it's a lot more going on than just that. So, if you're looking at the list and maybe that's not your thing, don't let that dissuade you. It's definitely come and you can talk to an Andy Wolf. You can talk to a Travis Ginger. You can talk to the Patton brothers from England. You can talk to Mark. Everybody's happy to sit around and talk pumpkin. And if you have everybody get their Spencer. If you have seeds, bring seeds and exchange seeds. And, for the most part, everybody walks around with a handful of seeds in their pocket. And if you ask nicely, chances are you'll get that seed directly from the grower. And you can just talk to them and get to know them. And that's a heck of a lot of fun in addition to everything else.
Yeah, especially if you're newer to the hobby sport or whatever you want to call it. You see a lot of these names that are out there, and I remember when I went my first one in Green Bay, I was so shy. I was like awestruck, but by the end of the convention, you're just great friends with some of these top growers. It's just an amazing community. How everybody, it's right there at the same level and helps each other out. And you're right that this is a great opportunity to really get rub shoulders and get to know folks out there going across the community.
Same. My first one was in Washington, and I'm like, I'm in the same room as all these pumpkin famous people. Like, there's Travis, or there's the Pattons, and
yeah.
There's the Jim Ford. There's Jim Ford. Oh my God, there's 2177. So it's really cool to just be around all those people. Teresa wants to know, is there going to be stadium tours this year? I think so.
Yeah, I think that's offered by the Packer Museum that's there. So that should be part of the venue. And maybe Pete Caspers can chime in. I don't know if he's out there, but from what I hear is there's a lot more around the stadium than there was even back in 2019 for things to do, activities and so forth. So it's really a sort of a destination, great destination to go to for activities and so forth.
Yeah. And I need everybody who's watching to peer pressure Brian to come to the big show. If he's considering it, that means he wants to do it. And we all need to encourage him in the chat to come. It's a lot of fun. And Doc said he'll buy you a brew, so it's a win-win.
Oh, he gets a free brew. Wow.
It's worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Keep on scrolling. Catch up on all these. This is a good one from Ben Foruff. For those of us who cannot attend, would the GPC possibly record the speakers and sell a recorded link to the speakers to the speakers? This could be a good fundraiser for the GPC.
Yeah, this question comes up pretty much every year. Unfortunately, we don't have the facilities to really pull together a full audio-visual, and we're just running around like chickens without our heads there. So unfortunately, this year, as before, we won't be recording it. I do agree. There's a lot of people that just can't make it. They would love to hear more about it. But I will promise, I am gathering in all the PowerPoint presentations from each of the speakers. Not that it's the best alternative, but I will and have posted the PowerPoint presentations on the GPC website. So a few weeks after the event, we'll have those available too. But maybe we just need a volunteer to come in that's a huge AV person that can put it all together for us at some point.
Right. You could just hit a cell phone and hit the go live button.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Shannon says stadium tours are always happening. So yes, Teresa. Also, I sent a bubble out to, I think it was Christine and her grandson today. And in her note to me, she was very complimentary and thankful for your help in helping her and her grandson. So people are talking good about you out there, just FYI. Hebenite Homestead. I'd like to meet you in person. You should come. Wasn't there a link to the hotel accommodations in Green Bay on the GPC website? I don't see it now. Yes, there is. It was on the.
Yeah, I can navigate to it again if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see if I can screen share again.
And I'm not sure, but I think the Kohler was kind of booking up. So I would not. Don't drag your feet on that. Sooner is better.
Yeah, we may be able to. Sooner is better, but we may be able to open up more blocks if people are running into some challenges. Just fire off an email to us. Okay, so here we go again.
I think my wife is going to let me get a Kuni pig, so we need to talk.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the homepage. Again, this is gpc1.org. And you can use this box to get to the area, or you can come up again to the International Growers Convention here. You click on this, and then it would be the fourth block down on that page. And you will just click this little box here. And there you go. There's the group number. I think I have that information here too. So you can either call or you can use the link. Either way, that'll work to get you the room discount.
So there you go. There's your link. But do it fast before they book out. How does a new grower get into the GPC? This is a good question. I thought this was relevant when I first started as well. So good question. Do you have to be a member of a club? Do you have to be a member of the closest club to you? Do you have to be a member of the club and way out of sight? This is a great question. I think a lot of people are unsure of this.
Yeah, great. Just tinkering. That's a great tinkering question there. Yes, there is a membership that's involved with it. So really, to qualify to be part of the statistics that I've been showing and get prizes and so forth, you just need to go to a GPC way off site. And I'm glad I've got the website open here. And then there is a, let me go back. Yeah, here we can go. There's a way off here. So you can go here and you can go to the different territories and you can see where those way off sites are. So this is a listing from last year. Of course, this will all be populated once we start registering way off sites. And by the way, we will be opening that up within the next week or so. But again, no membership dues are required. You can just show up to the show. You don't have to be a member. There is no membership. But yeah, again, if you want to participate in the awards, go to a GPC way off site.
So this is a good, this is a good leader into a question I've thought about a few times, because I know money is always an issue for a not-for-profit club. I mean, it's just period of fact. There's what you want to do, and then there's what you can afford. Has it ever been discussed to open up membership to the GPC or of the GPC or at the GPC to just individual growers to act as a fundraising and in exchange get maybe an exclusive newsletter or a patch for your jacket or a pin or something? Has that ever been discussed?
Yeah, it has, and we still continue to just want to make sure that's going to be essentially at no charge for people to participate. And also, by the way, you can, and I'm just scrolling down from the home page, you can come to this spot too, and you can click here. And I guess this is close to what would be membership, is you can subscribe to the newsletter, the one that I mentioned that Cindy puts out on a quarterly basis. So yeah, it could be a potential revenue gainer, but at this point we really haven't brought off of tradition, and continue to offer up the newsletter and all the other content that we have available at no charge. Really the revenue generators for the club are, let me give a plug to our sponsors. So we have 4 main sponsors right now. Kelp for Less, by the way, is our newest sponsor. Wallace Organic Wonder is a sponsor. Neptune's Harvest is a sponsor. This is one way that we're getting funds in to help pay for the convention, to help pay for awards, to help pay for ribbons and plaques that are given out at the way off sites, just to keep those as reasonably priced as possible. And we also have a partnership with NYBG, which is the New York Botanical Garden. I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with that, but a great partnership. We bring typically about 3 some of the largest pumpkins across the country. Obviously, it's got to be within a reasonable distance of New York City, but those are brought in, and we have the partnership with New York Botanical. They give us some partnership money to help fund the purchase of those pumpkins from our growers. Huge festivity out there, and we have some of the top carvers in the world that will then carve up those pumpkins, and you just have, that location has just tons and tons of people that are walking through. So we're pretty proud about that partnership too. So that's one revenue source, is our sponsors. Obviously paying for the get into convention. We try to keep that as reasonably charged, but still keeping a high quality on it. And then of course the other revenue is we we do have a seed auction, and then lastly would be the fees that are paid for the way off sites for the ribbons and so forth.
On that note, has the quality of the plaques been addressed with those? Because the last few years they've been kind of crummy.
Yeah, I agree. We are looking into ways of getting some better quality control behind that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Not holding anything back, everybody. Mark's gonna get the tough questions.
Yeah, we don't have to send out screwdrivers along with the plaques and so forth. So yeah.
Yeah, it's something that we everybody in here is capable of fixing, but you get
it. But yeah, and I know that. I mean, there's been challenges. I mean, as we all know, there's been supply chain issues that have been out there because of COVID, and some of it still persists out there. But and we weren't immune to that either. With the jackets and so forth. So yeah, it's not something we're blind to. So hopefully we'll get things a little bit tighter this year. That's one of our objectives.
Okay. Kevin, are there any plans to add categories for other giant variety sunflower, for example, or Chris Brown would say butternut squash?
Yeah, we do not have plans at this point, really, to consider an additional fruit. What we need is volume, or many more folks participating with those particular areas. So I know you're right. Chris Brown is definitely a proponent of the butternut squash. I mean, that, who knows, may at some point be considered, but it's kind of a vicious cycle, because I mean, obviously, if it's a category, it's going to get more entries. But then again, you have to get to that critical mass where it makes it worthwhile. Because we do send out a ribbon with the award packages for each category, and if we start expanding it out further, you're talking another $30 per ribbon, and we want to make sure that those ribbons are going to be used at all the different way off sites. So yeah, no plans now, but certainly we are not against adding, but we need to see some critical mass on that.
You gotta levy everybody, Kevin. Everybody grow giant sunflowers. If that's your jam, you gotta make it happen, Kevin.
We need a sunflower evangelist. That's what we need.
There you go. Yes. Andy's Acre wants to know which sponsor or vendors are going to be there, if any.
Yeah, I don't know for sure yet. I know that Neptune's Harvest was sort of playing around with it. I didn't look closely at the list to see if Ron Walls is going to be there. He's at most of them, so I imagine he might be, but I haven't confirmed that yet. As I mentioned, Kelp for Less is our newest sponsor, and they'll be sponsoring Harley Smith's presentation. So essentially, Harley will be, sort of a pseudo representative that'll be there too, and potentially there. And again, there's no promises on this. It depends on the sponsor, but sometimes the sponsors will come out, set up a table, and offer up some free samples, which everybody loves too. So again, no promises on that, but there's some potential around that.
Is that something that you guys offer? If there's a company who wants to market to us pumpkin growers, do you offer anything other than a sponsorship? Maybe they just want to come, set up a table, put some product on there, and talk to us. Is that something that you guys offer if anybody were to be interested?
Yeah, great question, Chad. So yeah, we do. So there are opportunities. So if somebody has a product that's of course appropriate to be sponsored or partnership with the GPC, we can entertain that, and they can just contact me, and I can help out with that. We have a couple different levels of sponsorship. So yeah, that's one of the things that I'm hoping that we can explore even further. it would be nice to get additional sponsors. I've always thought that would be great at some point where we'd have sponsors that could do some webinars and offer up some discounting. That could also be another revenue source for the community. So yeah, if anybody knows of anybody, Jim Ford made the connection for us with Cult for Less, so we're pretty excited about that partnership and relationship. Just let me know. I can sort of reach out and come up with more information. And again,
I think there's Jason. Jason is the donation whisperer, and a lot of those companies, I think, would potentially there's greater than zero interest in what we do. I always kind of I reckon it to everybody's after yield. If you're in the agriculture industry, you want yield, and what's the best way to show yield? A giant pumpkin. So I think there's a lot of companies out there that would be hip with that. Maybe not, but who knows?
Yeah, I think they would. I mean, we've got a tremendous community out there. It gives us great opportunity for getting the information out to folks, and anything that's going to help the growers out there to find the right products and grow those bigger ones and get themselves up to 3,000. Definitely, we're excited about that.
Let's see here, Teresa. Yes, we're excited to see you too, Teresa. I'll see you in 3 weeks at our winter meeting as well. James, I would love to pay to attend virtually. I wonder if walling the video content could generate some income for tech AV type folks. Maybe.
Yeah, great comment, James. I will certainly. We've got 2 questions on it here. Anybody else that's excited about something like that, just send an email to myself or the GPC, just mentioning that. I will certainly help be your voice to the committee. It won't be this year, but certainly, it's something maybe we'll even investigate for next year. So, I mean, number wise, we'll probably have 170, 180, maybe we'll be as close as 200 people there, but that certainly is much smaller than, the full growing community that's out there. So certainly love to get that information dispensed out. It's just a little bit bigger than what we're able to handle this particular year.
Yeah, maybe, think of like a $25, $40, whatever, a streaming pass or something. Could 50 people revenue. Just tinkering again. So you just grow a pumpkin and show up to an official way off site without being a member of any club. That's correct. You don't have to, most clubs you don't have to be a member of to participate. Some clubs will require that you, like for the RMGVG, if you're not a club member, I think it's $10 to get an official inspection and an official weight at that weigh off. And if you're a member, then it's free. So we try to encourage membership, but you don't have to be a member most of the time. I'm not sure if that's all clubs, but that's our club.
Yeah. Yeah, and as I mentioned, just look at the GPC website. See where those way off locations are going to be. If you're in a specific area of the country, need a little help finding it, look up your GPC rep. They can help you make the connection with the different way off sites that are going to be available too. And also when you're out there looking to, many times the rules and or contact information will be in the summary of the way off sites. So I would look at those two. That could be helpful. Sometimes you have to be there at a certain time or, pre-register. Usually you don't have to pre-register, but there are a couple sites that are out there you have to pre-register.
Yeah,
but most of you would just show up.
And are you still eligible for prize money? I probably, yeah. That's not a qualifier for our club in Colorado, but it's. You get the shifty eyes for sure. If you won, $1,000 and you weren't a member, you'd get the shifty eyes. If I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. Well, I will admit that the Illinois folks are always getting beat up by the Wisconsin folks coming down and stealing all our money. So, but yeah, that is one of the principles of the GPC way offs is they anybody can come on out to the weigh off, and it's not restricted by the club, most of the time, and or locations too.
I have to give Brad. It's on my agenda to give Brad a hard time at the winter meeting. About that. He drove one of his big pumpkins down to California, and I'm like, dude, you just opened up Pandora's box. You're going down there taking their money. They're going to come up to Colorado and win our events. Like, you got to be careful what you wish for.
Sure.
But it's all part of the fun. It's just
it is. I mean,
it's all for fun.
I mean, the ultimate person that gets out there is Travis, going all the way from Minnesota out to California, and man, they love Travis out in California. Maybe not all the growers, but wow, what
in marathon,
what a buzz! I've been out there twice, and what a buzz! Having being able to attract people from other states and have the competition. So yeah, it's always open.
Our club, well, our ex-president Teresa went out there this year, and she had a lot of fun. It was fun to kind of get the report from her about that. It seems, I mean, I definitely want to go out there and spend a weekend for sure. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, it is.
Maybe with a pumpkin, but probably not.
Go for it.
This guy has a question. What is involved in being on the GPC board? What is the time commitment and such? What the heck do you guys do?
Yeah. So I talked a little bit at the beginning. So, typically we're meeting once a week on Sundays. Meetings are hour, sometimes go a bit longer. We do have a couple of gaps in there. But, when it's hot and heavy right now, getting ready for, the convention, or, getting things ready for registration for way off sites and getting prizes out there, we're pretty intense about all that, and or getting all the prizes together when Jack finally gets all the spreadsheets together. So there's that commitment. And then, of course, when we're up at the convention, we will spend quite a bit of time up there putting everything together. So we don't use an outside agency to do all that. So you'll look in there, all the banners, all the setup, all the prizes, that's all done by us. And then, of course, another thing that a lot of us do and enjoy doing is trying to make it out to as many weigh-offs as we can to sort of represent the GPC, to spread the good work. So that's kind of the time commitment, and we have a lot of activities. I mean, as I mentioned, a fantastic newsletter. So a lot of times put towards the newsletter. A lot of time put towards just making sure all those weigh-off sites are on time, getting their registrations in. I put a lot of time into the website. So yeah, there's a lot of different hats that we wear, and put a good amount of time in. And again, all volunteers, so none of us are getting paid. Many times it feels like a part-time job, but I'd rather do that than flipping burgers as a part-time job for sure.
Well, we appreciate everybody's work, all the members that you gave a shout out to earlier. It takes a village, it takes an army, whatever that saying is. Appreciate you guys and all that you do for sure. Brooke wants to know, will this be reposted? I missed the whole thing. Brooke, where have you been the last 1 hour and 33 minutes and 55 seconds? Yes, this will be saved so you can replay it at your leisure, but just make sure that you rewind a little bit and watch the part where Mark gives the instructions on what you need to do to win the ticket to the GPC Big Show, the golden ticket. Spoiler alert, you have to send him an email. So find that and send him an email so you can have a chance.
That could be $190 rewind. That would be great.
Right?
Yeah.
Worth it. Garden of Giants, that would be Chris Brown, wants to know, where's the 2026 Big Show?
Always probing. Yeah. It will be out west. And west of the Mississippi. Yeah, it'll be west of the Mississippi. Yeah, and we know where it's going to be, and we always save that for the show just to make a grand announcement of where the next location is. But it will be someplace different. I can give that information, and I think we're going to be happy with the next one.
Excellent. Jim wants to know, has the GPC ever considered out handing Crocs instead of medallions I think that's a great idea, Jim. I'm a Croc man.
I think it is. I think that jacket, when Jim wins the grower, Gotti, the grower of the year, I think it should come with a new set of Crocs for him for sure.
Customized Crocs. Excellent.
Yeah, I've got a cute little picture of him and his grandson with same set of orange Crocs on it. So fun.
My son and I, we have American flag Crocs, so it's a family. When we became Croc people, my wife threatened to divorce me because she didn't want to see me out in public, or didn't want to be seen in public with me wearing those shoes. But I'm like, hey, they're comfortable. The Hodge family, we require people entering a pumpkin at the Indiana contest to be a member to be eligible for prize money. That's a really good point. That's my club should bring that up. That's a good
it is. Most clubs aren't that way, but I mean, for them to help fund the way-offs, I think that's necessary in Indiana. Every area is different.
Yeah. So just reach out to your local club.
Yeah, I love seeing you, Clint, when I come out to California.
Clint, yeah, where you been the last? I haven't talked to Clint in a while. Good to see you, man. Chris says the best time you'll have if you love growing giants, you will love talking to other people who are obsessed with growing giants. Go to Green Bay. That's correct. It will be a lot of fun, as long as it's not like 5 degrees. Mark, can you guarantee that the weather will be good?
I think I can guarantee it'll be over -5 degrees at some point. I'm crossing my fingers because I'm driving up from Chicago, and I certainly don't want any snow. I mean, first part of March is, you never know, but let's just pray that the pumpkin gods will be on our side, and we'll have clear sailing all the way across the country, so maybe we can make it into Green Bay.
Yeah, Clint, you should come from California to Green Bay, and you'll see this white stuff falling from the sky, and in cold that makes your face hurt. It's an experience.
It's a 4-letter word too.
Oh, here we go. This is good. Early March highs for Green Bay are in the 30s, so
there we go.
We're good. It's okay.
Yeah, I think I'm safe in saying it'll be above -5.
Just a couple other ones. Thanks, Mark, and all the reps for the GPC for all you do.
Thanks, Doc.
Doc says, show up to Green Bay. I promise you will learn at least one tidbit from my lecture. The other speakers are top-notch as well. You'll have a great time and be entertained. I am looking forward to, I think, this is the growing on the scale topic. The growing on the scale topic and the, no-till are very fascinating to me. I'm very much looking forward to those talks. It'll be good. And with that, Mark, anything else to send us out the door?
No, thank you for everybody that attended, and thank you to the RMGVG for hosting myself and the GPC to get the word out. Anybody has any other questions, certainly, send me an email. I'm happy to entertain them if you weren't ready to ask them or they came up after the fact. And I look forward to seeing everybody at Green Bay. Hopefully you all can make it out.
Yep, it'll be a great time. I will be there, and there's going to be just tons of people there. Don't be intimidated to go up to people who you may consider like pumpkin famous. Like, walk up to Ron Wallace. He's a great guy. He'll talk to you. He'll give you a seed. Talk to Travis, very approachable people. Anybody who is interested in our weird, crazy hobby, if you want to know more about it, everybody's will fill your cup with pumpkin knowledge and then some. So be careful what you ask for.
Yeah. You all know me now because I've been on here for over an hour. So, if you want an introduction to somebody, I'm the friendliest guy. I will be happy to make an introduction to anybody in the crowd. Just come on up and I'll help facilitate that. Chad, thank you for emceeing this and going through all this too. Appreciate you having me on.
You're welcome. We're happy to do it. Thanks to Jason for coordinating it. And
Jason, thank you.
Everybody, go join your local club, and don't forget to rewatch this. And make sure you send your email to Mark so you entered into the chance to win the golden ticket for a free trip to the GPC Convention at Lambeau Field, which is pretty cool. You get to go. You are at. We didn't talk about this. You are at Lambeau Field. It's not like a convention center next to it. You are at Lambeau Field.
Yeah, you right from the atrium, you can look right out the door and look over the stadium.
Yeah,
it's really awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Next week we will have Jamie Graham on, talk about bear swipes and TikToks, and the crazy thing, he doesn't do talking in his videos. He has a British accent. Everybody, I'm blow your mind. You will be shocked and amazed. So we will talk to everybody next week. Mark, thanks again, man. Take it easy, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.